Hello, welcome to a goal live chat in the aftermath of Cameroon's Africa Cup of Nations opening victory over Burkina Faso to kick off this fiesta of football. I'm here outside the Stade d'Olembe in Yaoundé. Maybe you can see me, maybe you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you are with us here at goal, if you are following along, if you enjoyed the game today, if you liked what you saw from Cameroon. If you're worried about what you saw from Cameroon, comment below and let us know. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the African football fans. If I just turn over here to my right, you can see the presidential entrance at the beautiful Stade d'Olembe. You can see the VIPs here leaving in their car. I hope my car isn't going to go without me. The Cameroon team bus was over there. They've now pulled away. There was, as you can imagine, as you can expect, a lot of celebrations from the Cameroon team after they began their tournament, after they began their campaign with I'm not going to say a convincing victory over Burkina Faso. It was hardly convincing. It was hardly particularly impressive. But they got the job done. They got the win, and that is all that will matter. And I've got to say, I don't know if you're watching at home, but the atmosphere here in Yaoundé, before the match started, the atmosphere was something sensational. Already in the streets at maybe 9 in the morning, half 9 in the morning, fans were excited, fans were bubbling, fans were enthusiastic. There was one lady who was wearing a Cameroon flag and she was carrying a Cameroon hat. There was another lady who was wearing a Cameroon hat, carrying a Cameroon flag, and there was a guy on a motorbike. He was wearing a Cameroon flag. He was wearing a Cameroon hat which had a Cameroon flag stuck into it. He also had Cameroon sunglasses on. I've never seen anything quite like it, but it was quite remarkable. And this was hours before the game even started. It's been 50 years since Cameroon last hosted an Africa Cup of Nations, and you can really feel it. You can feel it in the way that there was a sort of pent-up kind of desire to see this tournament, to see African football's showpiece, to see the centerpiece of the African game brought to Cameroon. And let's not forget, Cameroon really consider themselves to be one of the giants of African football. This is one of the true heartlands of the African game. What they did in the 1980s, what they did Samuel Eto'o's generation in 2000, 2002, there is no getting away from the fact that these boys, Nigeria fans might not like it, but these boys are absolute African heavyweights. And they've surely deserved a tournament before now. I mean, can someone explain to me how it is that Egypt have hosted 4 Africa Cup of Nations since 1972, since the last time Cameroon got to host one? It's quite remarkable. Anyway, finally it's here, and we have had a joyous opening day with a fantastic opening match from Cameroon, who got the win over Burkina Faso. If you were watching, send me your observations, send me your feedback, let me know the players who stood out for you from both teams. Let me know if you think Cameroon are contenders in this tournament. So tell you what, if you ask fans here after that performance, are Cameroon going to win the group? Are Cameroon going to reach the semi-finals? You can forget all of that. Cameroon are winners as far as these boys are concerned. Cameroon have got the team, they've got the players, they've got the momentum, they've got the morale to go the distance. Although I wasn't sure about the fireworks after the match. I don't know if any of the rest of you saw the fireworks post-match, lighting up the Yaoundé sky. That was the kind of celebration, in my opinion, you reserve when you actually win the tournament, especially if you're a big team like Cameroon. That's not the kind of reaction, the kind of celebration I really want to see once you've just actually won the opening game. It felt a little bit small time for me. I'm worried that it might be a bad omen. It reminds me a little bit of when teams touch the Champions League trophy, when they're going out, when they kind of kiss it on the way out to the pitch. And to me, yeah, it's a little bit defeatist, a little bit small time. I wasn't impressed with that. But if you were watching back at home, if you liked the pre-match opening ceremony, if you liked the fireworks, the dust, the spectacle, if you liked that, let me know. If you weren't a fan of that, if you weren't a fan of the fireworks after the match, I know I wasn't, then please also do let me know. We've got some people asking questions about those 2 Cameroonian penalties and the VAR call. We obviously had a historic moment, our first ever VAR in a Nations Cup. For me, the first penalty was a stonewaller. I was surprised it wasn't given immediately, particularly as the referee was stood right there next to the action. He let things play on, then he consulted VAR. It was an error by Bertrand Traoré, the captain, who seemed very pumped up for this match. Obviously, if you've been following goal, if you've been following African news, you will have read about Burkina Faso's complaints in light of those suspicious, those dubious COVID tests, the COVID testing that took place on Friday. Then the results were given on Saturday when they learned that 5 of their key players would be missing for the match. This wasn't any kind of preparation. As Bertrand Traoré told me on Saturday, the team had been preparing 10 days for this match alone, and only to learn that they, on the eve of the match, that some of their key players, including reported Arsenal target Edmond Tapsoba, would be missing for the match. This was disastrous preparation. I have no doubt that it really knocked Burkina Faso. It really affected their morale ahead of the game. They seemed, in my opinion, too pumped up. They had too much of a point to prove. They were desperate to demonstrate to the supporters, to the watching world, that they'd been wronged. They had a point to prove. And despite what had happened with the COVID tests, which they believed was obviously favouring the home side dramatically, it was favouritism towards the hosts. They believed that they were wrongly done, and they certainly, to me, they seemed too pumped up heading into this one. Maybe you could say the same about Cameroon. I mean, when they sang their anthem, it was almost like they were singing a battle cry. They were arms wrapped around each other, eyes were bulging, mouths were wide. They were pumping out every single word of that mock Marseillaise. And they really got the reaction I think they wanted from the supporters. The supporters were firmly behind them. The supporters they created a resonant atmosphere here. They did their bit. And obviously things weren't going Cameroon's way. Burkina Faso got that opening goal through Gustave Sangare. But then I think that the final 5 minutes of the half really turned the match on its head. Cameroon ultimately got the win, those 2 penalties. And I think from a neutral point of view, I mean, I'm not entirely neutral. Obviously, I'm a Super Eagles fan. I'm a Morocco fan. I'm a DRC fan. I'm a Cape Verde fan. And obviously, I've got a soft spot for the Black Stars. Obviously, got a soft spot for Egypt's Pharaohs, Mohamed Abu Treka. But, you know, apart from all that, I'm a neutral. And for me, it was, from a neutral point of view, I think it was good to see the tournament beginning with the hosts getting off with a victory, with all 3 points, which, I mean, with the current expanded Africa Cup of Nations, with the best third-place teams going through, I think Cameroon now are in a very strong position to go through, bearing in mind they have to play Cape Verde and Ethiopia, matches they'll be fancying themselves to win going forward in this one. I want to see some of the comments you have been sending in to talk through this one. Jess Tanaid Avelino, Cameroon has it all. I'm not exactly sure what you mean there, Jess. In terms of on the pitch, defensively, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they do have it all. I'm not sure if Jerome Ongwene is truly the answer for this Cameroon team. Off the pitch, I mean, yeah, maybe they have it all. Maybe they have it all. I've seen a lot of amazing things since I've been here. I've had some fantastic meals. I've had some very spicy meals. Cameroon certainly has a lot of spice. Maybe not the best for my fragile stomach. But yeah, Cameroon has been a fantastic atmosphere so far. It's been chaleureux, as they would say here in Cameroon. People have been very welcoming. People have been so excited. That's been the big thing. People have been really. Sometimes you turn up in these capital cities for African tournaments, and the fans, they take a bit of time to get warmed up. That was not the case here. Fans were very excited about the tournament taking place, and yeah, I hope they feel they were rewarded with a victory. Got a comment here in from Quadwo Scholar, watching from Ghana. Tomorrow we will dismantle Morocco. I can only assume that means Morocco, Quadwo, Kojo, I should say. And dismantle, I don't know. I mean, let's talk about Ghana for a little bit, because the matches obviously in the Nations Cup, they come thick and fast. And this match tomorrow for the Black Stars is a big one. Kojo, if you've been following goal, you will be aware that Morocco have been hit with some real injury problems heading into this one. Youssef En-Nesyri, he was obviously an injury doubt heading into the tournament. He trained alone. I'm not sure he's going to be starting. That should be get a little celebration in Ghana. Ryan Mami, he's injured. Ayoub El Kabi, I believe, also is injured. They are Morocco's 3 big striking options, all likely to be absent for the game against Ghana's Black Stars on Monday. And of course, Morocco didn't take Hakim Ziyech, the Chelsea superstar. He's not been picked. It's a massive boost for Ghana. Can you go and win the game? Go and win it, get off to a good start, set the tone. And I tell you what, I wonder if the Black Stars could be dark horses for this tournament. Whisper it, because Ghana, when they can get carried away and things can all fall apart. But whisper it, I think they could do something special at this tournament. I've got a comment here from Mboa Namia Neymar saying selfish. I assume you mean Vincent Abubakar. That's the only thing I can think you're talking about, because he did miss a lot of chances. and there were some efforts blazed over. Cameroon could have wrapped this matchup easily, much earlier than they did. And I was looking at Samuel Eto'o, who was sat near me in the VIP tribune. I was thinking, if he'd been there in his prime, leading the line for this Cameroon team, they would have definitely had this game wrapped up much earlier. Divine Favore Fred writing in here. He is repping the Super Eagles, Nigeria all the way. The guys are going to battle ready. The cup is going to Abuja. Fred, I hope you're right, mate. Listen, I really hope you're right. Obviously, I wear my heart on my sleeve as far as Super Eagles are concerned. I'm just concerned about the preparation. The preparation has not been good. There's no getting around it. Gernot Rohr, perhaps you should have gone, but the timing was dreadful. The way we've been hit with injuries, the way we've been hit with players pulling out, the fiasco with Emmanuel Dennis, I don't even want to talk about it. It gets me so angry. It gets me so angry, that Emmanuel Dennis situation. And then there's been the Osimhen debacle today. I mean, Napoli is saying today he's fit and he's returning to Italy. Why then, if he's returning to Italy today, I ask you, is he not playing with the Super Eagles on the 11th, on Tuesday, when we take on Egypt? It can't be right. If he's recovered from COVID, he's recovered from his terrible facial injury, why on earth is he not taking part with the Super Eagles against the Pharaohs? Why is he not here leading the line for Nigeria, gunning for that golden boot? Beggars believe. If you've got answers, please send them in. I've got no idea. He should be here. Igalo, fair enough. Al-Shabaab, that contractual issue. Dennis, it's a debacle. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me angry. Paul Onuachu, obviously injured. It's a big opportunity for the guys who are left. Big opportunity for Taiwo Awoniyi. Big opportunity for Henry Onyekuru. No one's talking. Why isn't Dessus here? Can someone please... You've got my number. You've got my Twitter. You've got my Instagram. You've got the Goal Africa handle. Get in touch and let us know why Dessus isn't here. Because quite frankly, it's a big disappointment. Lorata Makondo asking, have I tried any one of the Cameroonian dishes? Well, there's a funny story there, Lorato, which... the Cameroon gentleman who served me lunch the other day, he did tell me some of the things, some of the different types of meat that he'd put in that dish, including liver, kidneys, tongue. But he didn't tell me about some of the other foods, meats, the cuts that he'd put in that dish until after I'd eaten it. I don't want to know what a pini is in French. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what that word means. But the food's been delicious nonetheless. We've got Mikrel writing in here, weighing in on Ghana's match against Morocco tomorrow. Morocco is better than Ghana. We want to hear some backup there from you, Mikrel. Why do you believe Morocco here are better than Ghana? Here at Goal Africa, we are about analysis, we are about insight, we are about detail. But let us know why. I mean, maybe you're right. We don't really know. Did you give that opinion before the injuries, after the injuries? I'll tell you what, though, Achraf Hakimi, I am excited to see what he can deliver in this African environment. He was, of course, fantastic with Inter Milan last season as they won the Italian title. He's had a tricky time at PSG, but he loves playing with this Morocco selection. And I can't wait to see him bombing down that right flank, to see what he is capable of achieving at this tournament. Heading into the competition, a lot of people, they're talking about Salah, they're talking about Mane, they're talking about Mahrez. Of course they are. They're not talking about some of the defenders, some of the midfielders. They're not talking about what Achraf Hakimi can achieve from right wing back. I'm excited to see it. And I tell you what, I hope that Ghana have got a plan. I know Milovan Rajovic. I know he's a man with a plan. Let's hope he's got a good one for the Atlas Lions tomorrow. Another one here in from Mboa Nehemiah Neymar. But Sir Ed Dove, I am not a sir. I am not a sir. You should probably be aware of that, Mboa, next time you write in. Not a sir yet. But Sir Ed Dove, do you really think that Cameroon goal disallowed was an offside? It was very tight. It was very tight. I think in this kind of situation, when it is such fine lines, literally, you've got to trust the officials. You've got to trust the VAR. It's so marginal that on a different day, it could have been given, it could have not been given. It's the kind of thing we would have all been talking about right now if the match had been a draw, if this had been a knockout game and it hadn't gone Cameroon's way. Ultimately, it's been brushed under the carpet because they won 2-1, so they are advancing with a victory anyway. However, this is the kind of decision that come a big knockout game, come a really tough match where it really matters. That's the kind of decision that's going to create a lot of controversy. And Boa, I want you to be on top of VAR for Goal Africa during this competition. If you see any more situations like this, if you see any borderline calls that you're not happy with, please write to us, please get in touch and let us know your opinion. And what do you think about this one? Should that goal have been disallowed? Should it have counted? Ultimately, it doesn't matter. On a different day, it could have been a different story. Jagli Mbalo writing in here, Wednesday, the Gambia, with a strong arm there with the Gambian flag. You sound excited about the Gambia. I'm excited about the Gambia. Everyone's talking about them being minnows. They are the rank outsiders based on the FIFA World Ranking in this tournament. However, what have I always told you people about scorpions? They have got a sting in the tail. They may be small, maybe you don't see them, but they have got a sting in the tail and they can hurt some of the big dogs. This Gambia team under Tom Saint-Fier, the Belgian coach, they've already hurt big teams. They've got a draw with Algeria. They've got some big results. Look, why aren't Zambia here at the Afcon? Why aren't Democratic Republic of Congo here at the Afcon? Ask Gambia. Big problem is COVID. They've got 16 cases. It has devastated their preparation. We don't know what kind of team's going to be available for their opening game. And whereas maybe in Algeria, one of the big boys, maybe even a Cameroon, could absorb 5, 6, 7 COVID absentees, Gambia can't. And they certainly can't absorb 16. So it's a real shame. Let's just hope it doesn't overshadow their tournament completely. Derek Foncha, please try plantain and ndole. It is very delicious. Well, Derek, you'll be interested to know I've actually tried both of those foods in the same dish. Plantain and spicy ndole. Not just ndole, it was spicy ndole. And I tell you what, it was pretty spicy. Ndole, for those who aren't aware, who aren't as au fait with Cameroon cuisine as myself and Derek, ndole is like a tripe, like the entrails. Very flavoursome. Not everyone likes the flavour. I certainly do. And I would certainly say plantain is a very appropriate accompaniment for a real spicy ndole. It really takes the edge off. But actually, Derek, I don't know if you've tried ndole with inyam, which is like a cassava, like a kind of yam. Because the way that absorbs the spice, I asked for additional pimo, additional harissa. I don't know if that was a good idea. It really left some... you know how Malawi are nicknamed the Flames? Yeah, well, there was some fire, shall we say, going on after I had my spicy ndole with inyam. But listen, delicious dish. Send me over some more recommendations. I'm keen to try everything. I'm not really sure I want to try any more pini. That was a little bit too much for me. But anything else here in Cameroon you think I need to eat, please let me know. Benedict Jose Munyongo, always I hope everyone can hear me. We're back again. We lost about 4 viewers there. The Wi-Fi here at Cameroon State is next to us. But I don't know if we are getting interference there. Maybe it's with Benedict Jose Munyongo's points, which is that it's too early to start talking about favourites. Benedict, we're football fans. What else are we going to do? Of course, we're going to talk about favourites. We're going to talk about contenders. We're going to talk about the teams who we're excited to watch, the teams who we believe the distance. Okay, Ben, if you don't want to talk about the teams we haven't seen, let's talk about the teams we have seen. Let's talk about Cameroon. Because I tell you what, a team that can bring off the bench the likes of Clinton and G, the likes of Chupa Moting, the likes of Christian Battigo, man has been an African player of performance, and he's only a substitute. It's a team, Stefan Bahakan as well. That is a team with strength in depth. That is a team who can hurt opponents. Who in the latter stage are going to be fresher than some of the other teams who are having absentees, who are having good injuries. We've seen Cameroon, we've all seen Cameroon. If they look well contended for you, get in touch and please let me know. Nick, well, asking a question about the VAR. Have they done a good job today? Yeah, I mean, that penalty, the referee didn't get it. I don't know why he didn't give it. He stood right next to it, but he didn't give it. VAR did. It would have been an absolute travesty if Cameroon hadn't got that penalty. That on France and on reset. So, I mean, what more do you want? VAR has got to correct that the referee missed questionably. That's all we can ask for. That is all we can ask for. VAR has righted it wrong today, is created justice there. That's exactly what we see. That's where technology is here. Chef Louis Moquain writing here, I assume you're a Burkina Faso fan. Jeff, well, let me know if you're not. He says Burkina Faso will go far in this tournament. Again, but quite unfortunate. You know what? I actually agree with you. Burkina Faso in 2013, people expected nothing. They reached final. In 2017, they expected nothing. They reached second. This year, I think we could see similar. I think they're going to get results against Cape Verde, and I think they're going to get a win they go in the knockout stage, because this is something that made me like experience. Before we saw that great Burkina Faso generation, Charles Kabore, Jonathan Tropa, Alain Traoré, Aristide Boston, and then just roll off the tongue. These days, it's not the same Burkina Faso team. It is a team in transition. It is a new team, and jury's out. Jury's out. But is a quality player. They need to use him correctly. I don't know. I'm sure, Chef, you don't know if taking him out on the right front is the right idea. I'm not convinced. Abdul Bari wanted to turn attention back to Ghana versus Morocco. Listen, I understand why people follow this game. It's an absolute massive match. They're two former winners. There are two coaches. There are two teams run by Eastern European coaches who know how to get the job done in the tournament. I think those teams are going to play a big factor. My prediction before this match is watching President Gianni Infantino make his way to the Limousine. As well, Jen. Yeah, thank you. You too, thank you. Speak to you soon. Thank you. For this match, before the injuries, I would have said Morocco. Would have said Morocco. But now, seeing those injuries, seeing the way Morocco is attacking on devastated, I'm tempted to say maybe Ghana can get a win, can get their campaign off to a big start. Thomas Partey, before he came, his performances for Arsenal were superb. They were exactly what we wanted to see from him, taking control of games. So I'm really excited to see what he can deliver in this tournament. And guys, people are forgetting the impact that Jordan Ayew and Andre Ayew can have in this environment. Andre's been a former top scorer. Both of them, of course, have reached the final. We all remember Gordon's tears in 2017. Very sad. And I think they can do something special. What worries me is that the dreadful performances under a corner, particularly defensively, where they lacked character, they lacked leadership. But if you look at the squad, if you look at Roman Baba, Jonathan Henderson, there is experience there. The guys who should be able to take control of matches and Ghana potential dark horses. I wrote on goal piece the odds ahead of the Afcon, the potential winners, the potential top scorers. Please check it out. Social team, if you could drop that in the comment here, because in that piece I go through the odds you can find for the real contenders in the tournament, for the top scorers. I think Ghana are one of the teams where there can be real value in putting a punt on. But here he's gone for Mali. Potential winners because they have a very young team. Yeah, that could see them all play. Yeah, I don't know. I think a little bit more about it. I don't know if youth alone will be enough to see Mali through. They've got a favourable group with Syria and Mauritania. I think they'll escape the group, and I think they're very strong. I don't know if they're all the way. Fonta, my Cameroon tour guide. Please do take a trip to Bamenda and experience a very unique landscape and visual design, and you will love farming techniques. Thank you, Eric. Those of you who follow my football reading will know that I'm very interested in farming and African culture. However, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to Bamenda during the course of the combinations. If you get in touch with Sheena there, who will be also representing Goal Africa from a different point of view, he could be the man who could be visiting Bamenda. But yeah, please do let us know exactly what it is there you would like to see. Guys, that is all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining me on what has been a pulsating, voting, compelling opening day of Africa Cup of Nations. We've seen Cameroon, we've seen Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, and Cape Verde currently in action. But I'm excited about what we see next. I'm excited about the coming days. Make sure you stay tuned to Goal. No one brings you the same energy. No one else brings you the same insight. No one else brings you the same answers. Take care, guys. Cheers. Bye.